Good morning, we're at our Aether Project. We just finished up this new home build. I'm Zach with Blackwolf Build. This is Greta with Hill Design. She did all the architecture, all the interior design. We executed the build, and today we're going to give you a behind the scenes tour. All right, so let's start here. The outside of this home is obviously beautiful, so I want to talk through the vision there, talk through some of the elements of the design, some of the materials, but I'll let Greta kind of explain all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the clients were really into it. Was a balance of modern. She leans modern, he leans a little more traditional. And so from the beginning, it was a balance to make it fit both, but plus fit the neighborhood. So we kind of kept the roof with a little bit of a lower slope, not going too tall. Wanted to bring in, it's a stucco rub over brick, but we let a little bit of that brick bleed through, adding a few more of the mullions on the windows to keep it from, or the muttons on the windows, to keep it a little more classic. So it was a constant blend there, throwing in the details of the lintels and the sills and air vents, leaning more a touch of European modern classic is what the goal was. I feel like we did a decent job on that.
Fantastic, yeah. Like I just remember, like the outside was so important. We did the mock-up wall, of course. We played with a lot of different colors of the actual mortar rub, of the paint colors. We had the window chips out. So, and then the roof on the metal portions and the gutters and all the valley metal was all bonderized steel. So that was our first time doing that. So that's a raw metal that's meant to kind of patina
so it
over
will
time.
Age, yes, which is nice.
So that was a really cool element, and I'm glad we were able to incorporate that here. All right, we'll go check out inside. All right, so real quick, I want to talk about the importance of how we frame the house. This is all Greta and the client's initial vision. These two huge oak trees up front here, if you want to show those real quick. So this was obviously existing, these were already here. There was a home here before that was torn down, and it was a little bit off center. So once we decided to tear the house down, we had the opportunity to then slide it to, I think we went left. Is that where we go?
Yeah, if you're looking at the, yes.
Left. Yeah, so obviously very symmetrical home. You've got a beautiful feature front door with glass around it, two big gable ends, and we really wanted to center all that between these two big oak trees. So when you're driving down the street here, it just really frames the house really, really well. And we got a parking pad here. Went back and forth if we wanted to do some type of, sometimes you see like a 2 foot or 3 foot tall retaining wall here. Ended up leaving that out just so you could really take in the beautiful front porch here. Very intentional with the width of the concrete. We went back and forth a bunch of times on that. The number of risers, the size of risers, and really kind of all tied in well. And then Melosi came in and did all the landscape package. So fairly young plants right now. So really it'll take a couple of years for all this to really get large and kind of fill out and finish it up. All right, so it's final picture day. This thing is show ready. Everything's good to go. We got the music on and everything. So we're in the foyer now. So I love this space, but I'll let you talk through it. It's got a bunch of different things to look at and talk through.
Yeah, even though this is a bit open, we wanted each space to feel definitive. So there's a difference in the floors here, and it gives a little bit, even though this is not like a massive room, it makes it feel a little more grand to come in here to the 13-foot ceiling, the different floor patterns, and we still have these different definitive openings between, but yet it's really important in this field to see the eyesight, everything you see, the views. It's a very minimalist feeling home, so you're not gonna see like a lot of artwork and things. It was a calm, actually part of the big inspiration of this entire interiors was a balance of, she loved Kim McConaughey's house in LA, and he loved Adam Levine's. And so it kind of gives a big description of the warmth and the minimalist, which I feel like just standing right here, you see. And this, like, I feel like this was one of such a thought out areas because of every view, because you can already see all the way into the family room.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you're standing here, you can kind of talk to everybody Yeah.
You do. And so everything had to slightly speak to each other in the design wise, a little bit of echo each other, but yet still feel a feeling for each room too. I feel like we did a decent job in that.
Agreed. Yeah. No. This turned out great. Let's go to our right, and we'll go kind of into the dining room and
Staircase.
let's go staircase. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole home. So, like Greta mentioned, there's white oak hardwood throughout. We did the herringbone pattern in the foyer, and continue that down the stairs here. And then this is probably a good point to go and talk about this base shoe combo, we can call it. So typically you would see a more traditional baseboard, whether it's 5 or 7 or 9 or 10 inches tall, and then a piece of shoe mold. And here, just sticking with the minimalist theme, I think was kind of the original idea. We took a piece of, so this is true 5/4 by 4 inch, and we ripped that down to get a true 1x1 piece of white oak here, and then finished it to match the floor. So super clean look, low profile. It kept the outlets really clean. I thought that was a really neat idea and something that we've not done before. Again, there's not a ton of trim in this home, which is not very common because most custom homes you're going to put a bunch of trim work and mill work, but that was not the intent here. I think it turned out great. And next, the stairwell.
The stairs.
So what would the exact finish on this? I can't recall the product.
We ended up doing the plaster and then layered it with kind of like a lime wash. It wasn't the Roman clay, because we kept settling on different.
Yeah.
So they ended up doing, it is a plastic rub, and then with the paint effect similar to a lime wash over it. This one was fun to do. We actually laid out with rope one day.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
making that and coming up with how to build this, which was a little unique by turning all the 2x4s sideways to keep the thickness.
See some of this curve here, but
and you see even the curve to the radius, which we mimicked to keep that fluid and to keep with this very clean minimalist look.
And this all kind of evolved because the vision was there, but we didn't have the exact specs figured out.
How to do it.
So we had the rope on site. We're showing the frame. We're okay. We want this stair to curve like this, and then this was just squared off. You're right. And then we thought we should probably round this, and then we ended up rounding this corner as well. And the whole thing just ended up taking on this beautiful. It feels like a piece of art, really. And then I can't not shout out these stairway lights. First time we've done these too. So we do a lot of stairway lights, but typically looks more like an outlet, so you can see the plate, and it just doesn't look near as clean. And this is a visual comfort mud-in kit, so you're able to stick this in the wall, and then you just finish drywall and paint around it, but it just creates a super, super clean look. And I think it just is a subtle way to add some light and some warmth without, again, back to that minimalist. There's no skirt board, so there's no handrail. We got away with this being graspable per code.
And I'll mention the light that we had custom made in Thailand, which was a little bit of a risk, but it turned out it was just a unique. They wanted it more sculpture, but still stick with the minimal, which adds a nice touch to keep with the flow.
Yeah, I agree.
And I know you mentioned the white oak floors, but I feel like so much common what you see now in white oak is a really wide plank, which can and sometimes pull more modern. And this was that constant balance of traditional and modern. So we went actually with your very traditional 2 1/4.
Yeah.
In this house, to again balancing between some of the elements he mentioned that are very modern. So
now we're in the kitchen, the heart of the home, everybody's favorite spot. So Kite Home Center did all the cabinets here. We worked with Ina. She did a fantastic job. One of the coolest elements that we've done to date is this backsplash up the wall. And then we use these bocce plugs. So again, back to not wanting to see much. Really didn't want a big 2-game typical plate here. And that's what you would normally have to do. Or you could do pop-up outlets, but those just don't look, in our opinion, the best. So ended up finding a product by Bocce that just has these really, really clean plugs here. So we're able to keep this stone going all the way up the wall, still meet code, and it provides some functionality as well.
Okay. We have this sink that was all built on site, at a quartzite, custom made for everything else. All unlacquered brass. If you see any brass in the house, it's unlacquered. hardware anywhere, just a lot more classic. We went flush inset on all the cabinets everywhere, but again, balancing that slightly modern, we did a very slim shaker. So that is that balance again, a modern traditional, no toe kicks. You won't see toe kicks in here. And then the hidden appliances, there's a fridge and freezer behind us. And I feel like that's kind of as far as do you want to talk about the hood?
Yeah. So the hood was kind of like the stairs. It was, I remember seeing a piece of rope here, and we had Jorge, who does a lot of our kind of miscellaneous task, and he was able to build this really to her vision. So this curved hood started as framing, went to drywall, and then ended up getting the same finish as the stairs, right?
Yeah, and again, we did it as rope on the floors where we started and drew it on the floor, and then he echoed that up, made it, so it was fun to see the process. It was layer by layer, but I think it finished nice.
Yeah. And then the last element that I think is definitely worth talking about is this banquette here. So something that often gets left behind in some of these homes is the functionality of HVAC equipment and electrical systems and all the things that like have to make a home feel comfortable. And we didn't have many chases to throw at HVAC vent, and there was already an idea to put a banquette here.
We already had the plan to do the banquette.
Yeah. So we ended up coming up with the idea, like, let's keep the idea of the curves, and we can throw our HVAC returns in there as well. So this worked out to be a really, really pretty space, but also very functional as well. And I think this is just such a cool area.
I think that's covered in AccuStone, right?
Yeah, so this is actually ArcuStone, since we're going to do
yeah.
a little bit smoother finish, and it's going to be a little more durable because it's going to have people sitting on it. So we wanted to go with a little bit different product there. So all the outside corners on the drywall, we went with a bullnose corner. Typical is going to be 1/2 inch bullnose. We went a little bit tighter radius, so we went with a 3/8 inch bullnose on the corner, which again are things that you probably wouldn't think about or notice, but just we really wanted to be sure that we got that right. And then
you'll see it around the doors.
Yeah,
too.
let's go ahead and
You'll see it around the doors as well.
Yeah, so she had this vision for trimless doors, and that's normally a super modern look where you would think like modern house with very clean lines, but we ended up getting the same look, but use these same bullnose corners. So I'll kind of back up. So door slabs, custom made. She had an AutoCAD drawing done to show exactly how these V-grooves are done. So we had to get these made by our door shop from Husky. And we used them as well to build all the jams. And at that point, we had them kerf cut all the jams here. Normally, you'd have a piece of casing here, sides and then top, and it would make up the difference from drywall to jam here. But for this, we had to somehow return this piece of bullnose back into that door jam. So we ended up doing a kerf cut, putting very similar type of corner bead, but a little bit different setup to get it to go into that. So we glued it, nailed it, mudded it, and it turned out beautiful. So it's just super, super clean. Yes, this is sink number 2. We started with a different one, that was a little more square and floating. It was black, and it just wasn't.
It was almost too modern for this.
Yeah,
place.
it just wasn't quite the look. So the client actually found this on Etsy. Is that right? Yeah. So I thought this is a really pretty unit here. Things with Etsy, sometimes you got to figure out on site how to install it and build it. So that took some problem solving. But yeah, I think this room turned out great. And again, did
it's a little darker lime
wash in here. Yeah. And then you can't have a home built nowadays without the scullery pantry. I don't think we're going to shoot this one today, so it's not like fully staged, but you got to get the idea. Beverage fridge, wine fridge, second dishwasher, another sink here, and then you've got access, of course, to all of your pantry needs. And you can kind of close this off if you're having a party. We went with the same door style here, obviously. I think these are MTech, antique.
It's all MTech. All the
Is it
door
unlacquered
hardware.
on these two?
It's all unlacquered. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I thought these turned out great. Yes, you got to close off if you're having a party. Super pretty there. And then we got, yeah, so these rooms aren't fully staged, so just laundry here. So we'll kind of just quick peek of that, and then a little mudroom here. These clients have 2 big dogs, so this is kind of the dog room and kind of the home command center, you could call it.
Yeah, this is the client's family room. This actually kind of image of the fireplace was one of our early inspos that kind of drove a lot. And I'd say this room, we kind of leaned in slightly more to the Adam Levine feel, if that makes any sense. But then this fireplace was kind of what drove the whole process. This again is a plaster, and we did the 2 layer, like this is plaster and lime wash. So there's actually a little difference, might not come across on there, but a little difference with that ArchiStone bench all the way across. This will eventually be filled with firewood on either side and custom made bench cushions that are not here yet. But we made it very livable for kids and dogs, but yet still feel a little bit grand in this room.
Yeah, those are my favorite spots. Yeah.
And one thing we did not point out, we didn't point out the architectural lighting.
Yeah, let's do this fireplace first.
Okay.
So we went with an isocurn unit, and these typically are about 8 inches taller, but again, we kind of had a vision to keep this a little bit shorter height. So we're able to do that just because isocurn is kind of customizable. And then we had the issue of how do we get this, again, the function and also look well. Like it needs to actually be able to burn firewood, so it needs to meet code and everything. So we end up having to do all metal studs here, backer board, and then everything's non-combustible here. So we've created a mantle essentially out of this whole front of the fireplace, and I just think this whole thing turned out great. I can just see like Christmas passing out gifts here and stuff. Yeah, I think it's super pretty.
And another thing from this room is you get views of the pool, access to the patio. So the whole thing was on flow for this house, which is hard to come across on video, but basically we have a great circular for entertaining flow to all the entertaining spaces. But I wanted to point out that you will not see traditional recessed lights in any of the public spaces. There's a few in some of the private spaces in this house, but in here we use the visual comfort. Is this one the monopoint?
Monopoint, yeah.
That you can change the lenses, which on these we have alabaster. And then, but that's it. Then otherwise it's just lamp lighting.
Yeah, like a room this size you would think needs way more lighting, but
Right.
I love how small you went. We kept them tight, and it does provide all the light that you need.
And you get that whole quiet ceiling in this house, which those are the things that it has a huge impact on the feel of the home because your eye doesn't go to that. And this entire kitchen is all the trimless. Some are 2-inch, 3-inch. There's no grid on the ceilings. It's very intentional. So you can play with the light depending on whether you're entertaining, whether you just want to highlight the corners of the island, whether you just want to do the workspaces, whether you just want to highlight the breakfast station, which is behind these doors over here. So again, like there is no ceiling grid of trims, and it's part of what I think is huge impact.
Yeah, I mean, normally you would see, kind of like on the stairs, you would see the little baffle sticking down from the drywall, but these are all mud in. That was a decision made, I think, at the rough in stage that we wanted to go with these, and I think it was a great choice because it just looks so clean. I love when we get a chance to do these because it just looks so elevated. It looks awesome.
Right, yeah. And even in the dining room, typically people would do like a grid pattern. But it's just to highlight the table. And it's depending on whether you want to turn off the chandelier and just use these or vice versa. So it creates a good effect there. Is there anything else you want to say on the dining room? I was just pointing out the lighting in here as far as this.
Maybe the table and just the table weight was funny. It was so heavy that we had to have our lumberyard confirmed that the floor system was rated to hold because it's super heavy. Like we actually picked it up, but it all comes to the center point here. So it's like a pretty substantial point load all in one spot. So that was kind of unique and things that sometimes we forget to think about on the front end. Like we have a pool table here where you have something very heavy that we need to design around, but everything worked out on this one. And then lastly, I'll show you the returns in here. So this is the back side of that kitchenette. So we're able to turn those returns sideways, still get the proper size that we needed. And then we found these grills off of Etsy. painted them, and then we had our trim carpenter build these and put little magnets in here so we can just snap these in and out. So it's still easy to use, but they're all custom built. And I know Greta wishes they could just go away, but that's just part of it.
But if not, just make them pretty.
That's right. All right, so we're back in the center of the home here, and we're going to talk about this room a little bit longer.
Yes, we definitely want to mention these beams that Dakota
Timberworks,
Timberworks,
yeah.
built, which look great. They work with the home. He does a really good job of getting that finish to look so authentic, like older plain beams. Mm-hmm. And it adds that touch of warmth.
And then like the way he builds them, a lot of box beams built on site will split over time and kind of like a maintenance nightmare. So these are actually all, he's got this locking miter that's going to keep them attached. So it's looks great, functions great, but it's not a solid timber and it's not built on site. So I think he really did a good job.
And again, I'll point out the architectural lighting just because these are the version that it's a 2-inch and they tilt. So we had the plan from the beginning of some of this furniture layout, and we knew that there would be a coffee table right there. And so those, even though it's a slanted ceiling, they tilt down to where the light can hit exactly on the coffee table, which is a nice advantage of using those.
I want to talk real quick. So we talked about the interior doors. We went no casing, we turned the bullnose into them. We wanted to do the same look on all the exterior doors. The problem there was we didn't pre-plan for that. So we didn't have the kerf cut in these jambs. So we had to figure out a way to come around it. And it actually was a pretty simple solution. Ended up doubling up the drywall to get another 1/2 inch of depth on this. And then that was all that we needed to, so we ended up doing a field kerf cut, but that gave us the thickness here. Because imagine this was a 1/2 inch shorter, this just would have been flush with the jamb itself, so you wouldn't have any type of return. So that was one thing that took some problem solving, took some figuring out, but once we got it all figured out, it was a pretty simple solution just to double up the sheetrock here. Looking at this, I think it's worth talking about. We did screwless plates throughout. So it's all Legrand branded, and we did a few different colors, but this is the main color throughout the home. Mm-hmm. And just a little bit cleaner look than you normally see, screw top and bottom, and it kind of pinches the plate. It's the shiny, cheaper ones. So big impact, kind of low cost that I think really helps.
So this is the library / music room. We wanted a little bit of that moody vibe, but still sticking with the flow. So rather than feeling too choppy, too dark, we just took everything a little bit deeper, which I feel like worked. I'll point out this great piece of art by Martha Willis, who's amazing. It's all custom with our color palette. And then this was all drawn and custom built. I think it turned out great. We did the architectural lighting again here. These also angle to the bookshelves, so it's subtle. We can turn it up, down, but depending on how they want to play. If they just want to highlight the bar, if you want to turn off the picture lighting, so you got 3 sources of lighting just in this. So then we don't have recessed lighting in. But these were all, do you want to explain the venting?
Sure.
I think he did a great job.
Yeah,
for
so
that.
Joshua at Craftsman Trim, he did all the trim on the home, and we wanted this reeded look, and we ended up going site built, so we kind of had to figure out how to do that here, and ended up ordering some dowels, cut them all in half, built these doors here on site, and his team just did a very, very fantastic job. So it's a nice clean look. Built on site was impressive. And then we've got a bunch of media equipment in here. So this is a area that can get fairly hot, so like all the Sonos amps and everything. So we ended up on these putting a bunch of holes to be able to ventilate air through there, so you can see we're able to do that. And then obviously it's pretty visible here, but once you close the door, if you look on the outside, you really have to look close to see those. And we kept the same spacing on these units as well, so you can see it's got the ventilation there, but when you stand back and look at it, you would really never notice it. And then yeah, I love the antique mirror in the middle. I love the sconce lights up top. I think this just really turned out great. And then on the back side of us are 2 more air returns. So again, just using built-ins to be able to hide some of that stuff, because we need a fairly large space for the return and the master, and then one in this primary hallway as well. So we're able to kind of tuck those away there.
go down the hallway here.
Yeah, I love this hallway, so definitely.
So this hallway again is typically in just a long, boring hallway. You'd be adding a lot of art or furniture, and that just didn't fit the vision of the house. So we decided to make the lighting the art in here. So, and again, to keep it that minimalist look. So they light up and down. We have a couple of these small same trimless lights, so it just gives this very calm spa-like effect, really, to go to the kids area and then to the primary bedroom. We did one more art light in here.
This bedroom went pink, very subtle pink though. When we first shared that, you're like, oh my gosh. Blush, I'm sorry, yeah. That is my non-designer lingo coming out there. But super cool. Yeah, I love it.
A young teen girl, so it's leaning into that where it feels special for her, but something she can grow with. So it's more this calm blush. And we did the very monochromatic. The curtains are the same color as the walls. Everything to feel that just calm and cohesive, and again, louder grow. And that then flows into the bathroom here.
Yeah, which this is a very cool personal touch. You can kind of explain the background of that?
Her grandmother, who passed away, she was very close to, her name was Joy. And it was just a touch. She had been very close to her, so wanted just to bring that in a little bit. So that's where on the floor, we put in the words pure joy.
It's actually in the penny tile. Yeah, that was fun to do.
I think it turned out well. It was just a soft reminder.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the bathroom is, again, it's one that can grow with her, so it's not, we didn't make it too age particular.
This is another of their daughter's bedrooms.
And you'll notice that the rooms slightly still echo each other to give this sense of calm as you go, but yet they're still very individualist. This is the youngest room. You just did a little touch of stuff, but that is removable one day.
Yeah.
But it, again, gives a sense of calm.
I really like how you intentionally worked with them to make the bedrooms smaller so that it would drive them to not just hang out in the room all the time. It like gets them into the main parts of the home. So
I feel like that was actually something we talked a lot about the entire house. We didn't want the kids to, and a lot of new homes now, nothing wrong with this, but the kids each have enormous rooms, and they didn't want the kids to be living in the room. So they are smaller. It's to fit the needs, cozy, but it's so that the family spends more time together.
Love it. All right, last of the kids' bedrooms is in here.
Every kid's room has its own ensuite. Closets, bathrooms. Again, they're not enormous, but it's functional. This is the son's room, but it still felt with the flow of the house, but yet a little more masculine.
Yeah.
He's really into basketball, as you can see. So,
on this tree, that was an important...
For the view.
Yeah.
Yes, because that was another, like the two girls got the front big windows, and so we wanted to make sure his room felt special as well. So the view and...
It's a crepe myrtle?
That is, yes.
Yeah. I don't know my trees like I probably should.
You got it right.
All right, so let's go check out the primary and another one of the best rooms in the house.
This is to the primary suite of the house.
It smells great in here.
It does. And again, this is where you feel that this is leaning in a little bit more to the Kim and Kanye house, but you get that really serene spa-like feel. It's slightly larger, but again, without being too enormous. They have a great view. They have access out to the patio with an outdoor shower right outside there, fireplace.
Yeah, this fireplace turned out great. So went with the cannonballs here, went with the raised hearth, and this evolved quite a bit really throughout the project. And we wanted to continue the radius corners here, so we ended up doing the same thing. And I think at one point we thought about putting stone all the way to the floor.
Yes.
And decided to just frame it, wrap it in drywall, keep the bullnose edging, and then have all of that mimic the rest of the home.
This was custom built here. So again, with the plaster and This one is also, I don't think this one's Archie stone. I think it was just plaster. I can't remember. But it was custom built here for the wall, like to fit all the sizing.
Yeah. Let's go check out the master bathroom.
We had this custom piece built behind the beds, again, trying to alleviate art. We wanted more of the architecture of the house to speak and not need a lot of things to fill it, just so it feels very calm. Yeah, here's master bath. You can't feel the heated floors, but they're
there. Yeah. This is one of my favorite spots of the home, probably because of the skylight, just the showers. So the first thing you would notice, obviously, there's not tile. That's what you always see in 90+% of bathrooms is tile walls, tile floor, potentially tile ceiling. But in here, they had a really, really clear vision of what they wanted. And we're still waterproof behind it. So we got this Luder system, everything that we need to get the waterproofing done. We ever so slightly sloped the floor during the framing stage so we could get this nice linear drain here. And then over top, we just went back with this product that really gives you that lime wash kind of mortar rub look here. And I think it just turned out absolutely killer. And then the skylight above was just a really smart add to bring in some natural light. Finding these, pretty rare unlacquered brass, like not your everyday shower valves. We were able to hide all the soap back here so you don't see all that.
Then we had some custom built vanities made.
Yeah, so Kite did these as well. I think they did a fantastic job. It's got the reeded look. I love the pulls on this. Almost feels like a piece of furniture.
And again, we stuck with the architectural lighting alone, so just a little bit here and there, just enough for the purpose, for makeup, forever, but not to busy up the ceiling.
Yeah. Speaking of ceiling, this is probably only something that a builder cares about, but we went with these flush drywall mud-in kits for the bath fans as well, so just a little bit cleaner look. One downstairs, we've actually got lime wash over that as well, so you can really paint them, you can lime wash them, and it just looks a lot better than the typical plastic piece that goes up there. All right, so we're out back now. Beautiful spot, really extension of the home, in my opinion, with outdoor dining and seating. I love the vibe back here. I mean, I would hang out here all the time. So you kind of want to walk us through some of the cool elements?
Yes, again, like you said, it just make it feel like just an extension of the house, and again blend the modern and traditional elements. So this is the living quarters over here, so just plenty of space for living. Eventually we'll get doors on that lower part over there, but it's working fireplace. We added the skylights to give it some natural light. Some dining room over here. We have some outdoor swings still coming. That'll
That's
be
right.
cool.
We put the blocking in.
Yeah, and that's still happening. They're just not here yet.
Yes, you can really see that. Like now that we're outside, this is the mortar rub that's on the entire home. So match the same thing back here, and then you've got some outdoor patio heaters for some comforts. Like this fall, those would be great. The skylights were another late addition, but I think they went to Soho House and saw that's kind of the inspiration.
Yes.
And so we got the biggest Velux that we could get, and this just was changed that kind of the whole game. A Greta, a project you and I are doing right now actively, they saw this and they're like, we want that on our back patio.
Right.
So this is something we'll probably start doing a lot more, I would imagine.
Quite a bit. It just gives it just keeps it from feeling too dark, and even helps then the light on the inside of the house too.
Yeah.
We added these faux rafter tails, again, to keep the house from feeling too modern. But we built down the beams so that it was important to...
The amount of conversations that happened around this, so yeah. Porch ceiling, we were gonna have exposed beams, exposed rafters potentially, wood stain elements and paint, but we ended up just going with a very clean look, and then really none of this is actual wood. So this is all James Hardie fiber cement, so it's going to last a long time. It's not going to swell and move. It's not going to have carpenter bees trying to get in there. And then we did build these out of wood, all these rafter tails, like Greta was just explaining, and I think it turned out really cool and just adds a little bit of dimension on the back
with
here.
Just a little curve to kind of slightly echo some of the elements on the inside of the house. But yeah, and then again, you see the half round bonderized steel. You can see those gutters better here, which is really pretty detailed look. Then you come down to a great outdoor kitchen.
Can I talk about these stairs?
Oh, sure.
This is cool. So the landscape architect did a really good job having these stairs kind of spill out, because you've really got two areas. You got the outdoor kitchen and you've got this seating area. So it was important to have center stairs that then spilled out. And we've got, it's really pretty at night. You've got lighting on all these treads. We're still dialing in the exact brightness and everything on those, but at night this just creates a really, really cool mood. And then, sorry, Greta, go ahead.
I think that was really it. I'm just explaining this.
Yeah, the seating area. So our brick mason did a fantastic job, like building this all out of brick, and again putting that mortar rub over it. So this does slightly slope back. It's at 18 inches, which is the standard seat height. So this is a part of the home that is a permanent seat here. And
I will say one thing that kind of put into this part is we did not want railings on this house. So that was even part of the reason.
That's
Plus
right.
we wanted the extra space, some that was uncovered. So even then we made the bench seat, like everything had a reason to let the other. That way we did not have to have any railings. So everything was carefully calculated.
Show the outdoor kitchen real quick over here. So the client loves to cook. He really wanted this outdoor kitchen. That green egg will eventually be relocated here. That's what this cutout's for. And this just turned out great. I mean, you can sit here. We wanted some sort of backsplash, but nothing too high where you couldn't see the pool. So you're kind of like kitchen's right there. Your outdoor kitchen's here. So you're able to like bring food out. You can cook. You can see everybody swimming. You got a pizza oven in the corner. You got your trash can. Got your fridge. So just a really good entertaining spot back here. Yeah, we'll show you the outdoor shower and then the pool real quick, and then we'll go into the basement and kind of finish out the tour in the basement. So this is off of the primary suite here. They've got their own little patio to come out and enjoy coffee in the morning and a cocktail at night. And then they've also got this outdoor shower off the side here. And we ended up pouring a sub base here for this drain. It actually daylights to the yard. They've got a shut off down in their mechanical room to kind of winterize this whole thing. But and I've been told that they use this more than their inside shower just because it's summertime right now. You can go on a run, hop in the pool, come out here and rinse off, and just a really, really cool thing to have. And I think phase 2 they plan on, we kind of pre-wired for a hot tub and sauna and all that stuff. So we'll end up out here having some more kind of health and wellness elements down the road. So of course this leads back to the pool. So good sized pool. They've got young kids, so this is kind of ideal for their stage of life. Went with turf around the pool. A couple tanning kind of designated areas to put chairs on that side. And another outdoor dining area here. And I just love like this view here. If you can kind of capture this, like you've got the curved walls coming down on both sides. All this stuff just took so much time to think through and like get just right. And we ended up changing the angle of the curve sometimes, but it all just came together so well. And then I love the different levels. So you've got another step down here. So down these steps, this was meant to be a spot for like an outdoor ping pong table. Very, very active family, very, very sports kind of driven family. So some more built-in seating here. So you can have people hanging out, watching the game. You're playing ping pong right here. You got a full basketball court. A half court basketball court over here. And just a super fun spot. So again, beautiful home, but also very functional, very, very usable. Mostly did a good job here at using some boulders to create this kind of retaining wall to help us make up the difference in elevation here. And so we'll go check out the basement now and let Greta walk you through that.
So we wanted this to not really feel like a basement, so we refer to it as lower level.
True, sorry.
But because it's walkout with the full lighting, because the way that this lot is shaped, we were able to do that well. But this is a kids hangout, and it leads to a bunk room, which we have these rolling doors, so that way it can be far to access, but actually you can sleep 8 in this bunk room. These are all full-size beds, but we kept with the clean minimalist look. Every bed has its own little nook for charging with hidden outlets in there that made sure none of that is visible from walking in the room.
Yeah, and those moved a couple times. Again, just like as it happens. So you've got guests over, they can charge, put their phone there. I thought that was very thoughtful. And
everybody can operate their own light individually, so we try to be very intentional with making this a very practical. That way, it's not just a kid's bunk room, but it's also can be an adult bunk room if needed.
Yeah, this is all white oak, built by Craftsman trim again.
Love how this turned out.
Me too. Yeah.
So I mean, it's built for the kids now, but we built it for future when they're all grown. That this can also be an adult added room. We have a full kitchenette over in this space. We kept with the concrete floors. It was kind of to add that. It's more about textures and using all natural elements where we could in this house. So we wanted this look. Plus, pool. This is the pool area running the kitchenette with a really great pool bath. This turned out really well.
Yeah, this is another. I feel like I keep saying that favorite spot of the home, but this one was fun.
You'll see the touches again of the plaster, the curved shower walls, the arch, keeping it very clean. The sink is even made out of plaster. We had all that just built on site, which, you know, to have no cabinetry, no tile, it's just very clean to stick with that color.
Yeah, getting the drain for the shower. So we had to slope the concrete at the foundation stage to be able to account for having no tile floor. These doors here are Ipe wood, which is designed to be in wet areas. So we had these built by Jorge as well. Went back and forth on hinges, but ended up using a shower door hinge actually to be able to have them rest at this position. And again, this is all, you know, typically tile, but it's all waterproof now with underlayment, and yeah, it turned out really, really well. Then over here, another cool view of the stairs from the bottom, which is kind of what we showed you earlier. So you can kind of see some of those curves here. Had a kind of like a happy accident under the stairs. Ended up making that a nook for the kids. So they've got a little reading corner. On the back side of the stairs is also a little nook with some plugs as well, so they can, you know, charge their devices or just go in there and kind of hide out.
Over here, we were able to do an exercise room. Again, like you mentioned, they're really into fitness, so we have a full exercise room. Also, a pretty large size mechanical room that also acts as a second laundry room.
Which I love. We'll show them real quick, just a sneak peek. But yeah, as a builder, obviously having a mechanical room designed on the front end is super helpful. So we're able to kind of tuck a lot of things in here. And again, it's a little bit busy right now because we got everything that's normally out in the home pulled out for staging for pictures. But yeah, added a second laundry here. Ended up having to do a long vent dryer due to we were just a few feet over what like the max was. So kind of had some stuff to figure out there. And if you come inside, I'll show you a few other elements. So this is really where you control the home. So all of our low voltage is here. We have 8 gas lanterns, so they're all individually labeled and marked here, so you can shut them off. All of our electric panels, water purification, water heaters, sump pumps, air handlers, fresh air, all that stuff. We're able to just really tuck in this one room, and it's nice and clean. It's easy to get to. It's not up in an attic, so this worked out great.
Here we have a big walk-in storage closet for games and such. And then this leads to the garage. And then back upstairs.
Yeah, so that's it. Thank y'all for taking the time to watch it. If you're still here, yeah. There you go. That's our Aether project. We're very proud of it, and it's cool to be done and see the family live here and see kids' toys and dogs running around. So that's kind of brings it all home.
Yeah,
Thank
it's a
you.
fun project.